Do you sometimes feel like you don't have the willpower to do what needs to be done? Well, do you feel lazy? Would you like to be more determined and avoid the temptation to waste your time on things that won't really help you in the future? So, if you want to improve your focus, to improve your willpower, to improve your determination, here is a scientifically proven tip. You have to be monitoring and changing your heart rate variability. What is heart rate variability? Just calm down, don't be alarmed by this apparently complicated term. Heart rate variability is the difference in the time interval between two heartbeats. And this physiological explanation is so important that when you understand this very specific and practical tips that we're going to have here, you're going to be able to change your behavior and increase your willpower. Just think about the times when you're calm and don't even realize that your heart is working, is beating, and then something happens. You get afraid. Out of nowhere, something happens, and then your chest beats very strongly. This is normal, and this is healthy. The heart rate of each person varies according to the moment and according to our actions and according to our thoughts. For example, when you go upstairs, you might realize that now your heart starts to beat stronger and faster. And if you hear some extremely disturbing news, your heart can also change the rhythm of the heartbeats according to your thoughts. I'm not talking here about arrhythmia or heart disease, and small variations are absolutely normal. What I'm talking about here is how events, thoughts can change the way our heart beats. Now, why is this physiological concept so important for our personal development? The reason is that your heart rate variability is the best indicator for you to understand how you can improve your decisions and have more willpower. Heart rate variability, HRV, if you prefer just to use the initials, is a very interesting way to measure whether you are more of a stressed type of a person or if you're more of a calm type of a person. Why now? Let's see some arguments. Why should this be important? Why should you be observing your heart rate variability?
Attention! This content is provided with your agreement and understanding that it is only for information purposes and is not a medical service, nutritional service, or any other regulated service or a service that requires personal care and individualization. By proceeding, you agree to be fully responsible to have consultancy with the professionals of your trust and jurisdiction before making any decision. The ideas presented here may not be adequate to all individuals or specific situations. Anecdotes and case studies have a low hierarchical value in evidence-based medicine and are merely for illustration purposes. Each person is unique and accordingly there is no guarantee or promise for specific results. This material is only a subjective interpretation summarizing the reference material and does not represent endorsement to any information. It is not the intention of this material to criticize the original reference work. This summary is not official, not approved, not licensed, nor in any manner related to the original reference source. If you are interested, check the affiliate links to have access to the sources and deepen your knowledge and also to support the original authors. The Not Too Good Initiative welcomes you for also valuing education and valuing the qualified professional support to make conscious choices.
I'm going to give you the scientific explanation of how actions and thoughts can change our heartbeat. Simply put, your body sends different types of signals to your heart through two branches of your nervous system. There is the sympathetic nervous system, which serves to get your body moving, and there is also the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes all types of relaxation and also recovery of your body. These two branches, they fulfill complementary roles. So when you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system will take control. Your heart beats faster. That's exactly what you need to be able to deal with that particular stressful situation. That's the mode when you have to prepare to fight or to flight. Even in times when you cannot maintain your self-control, your parasympathetic nervous system will help you to calm down, to reduce your stress, to control your impulsive actions. You have more focus, your heart rate slows, but the variability increases. And that is why doctors can detect a range of information about your health by observing heart rate variability. A high variability indicates good adaptation. It shows that you are a very healthy person. Low variability indicates some, let's say, malfunction in the body. Alright, so now that you understood the basics of the concepts of this physiology for the conversation that we're having today, now let's go to the practical point that will help you to increase your determination as promised here. So, in addition to health issues, the heart rate variability can also indicate the willpower of a person. The greater the variability, the better the general physical condition that person has, and the better they will perform to different types of activities, including those that require willpower. HRV also indicates the ability to adapt to stressful situations. So, to confirm this relationship, this promise, this idea between willpower being connected to your heartbeat, the researchers conducted a quite interesting experiment. They invited students, as always, and these students were fasting. They've been divided into two different groups, as always, and both rooms had the same type of stuff. There were rooms with freshly baked chocolate chip cookies and some sweets and carrots. So these hungry students, upon sniffing this delicious smell of the cookies, they were given very simple instructions. People who were in one room, they could eat whatever they wanted, and of course they wanted to eat the cookies. But those who were in the second room were warned that they could eat the carrots, but they shouldn't touch the cookies or the sweets. So that's when the researchers measured heart rate variability. The HRV went up when the students who had the ability to eat the carrots, but they had to resist the chocolate. And the HRV didn't change much in the control group, who was the group who could eat anything they wanted, including the cookies. So, people who used the willpower to resist this temptation, they had changes in their heart rate. And in the book, The Willpower Instinct, Kelly McGonigal explains that heart rate variability is an excellent indicator of willpower. HRV works like a crystal ball to predict people's behaviors at times when determination is needed, and it can even be used to anticipate who will be able to resist a particular temptation and who will fail. For example, a recovering alcoholic who has increased variability whenever they see a drink is a person who is more likely to stay sober. And those who have a decrease in the variability, these are the ones who have a higher risk of drinking. In a similar way, people with high heart rate variability are those who have better focus, they are able to postpone the instant gratification, they're able to deal better with stressful situations. They are also less likely to give up whenever they're doing a particular task, or to quit whenever they fail, or when they receive some negative feedback. That is why HRV is a very important indicator for you to take note. It is a kind of a reserve of willpower. It is a measure of our ability to self-control. If you have a very high heart rate variability, you're more able to deal with all types of distractions and temptations. So, if you want to work better, you need to have more willpower to resist all types of distractions that will rob your focus. If you want to lose weight, you need more determination to avoid the foods that will not be the best thing for your metabolism. And you also need to be consistent with your diet. And if you want to have more money, you also need this willpower to control the urge to spend on unnecessary things. So, now that you understand the importance of the HRV, let's take a look at how you can, in practice, increase your variability of your heart rate. How can you check? How can you increase your heart rate variability? So far, we've learned that those who have greater heart rate variability, these are the individuals who have more willpower, they have more determination to stay focused on their goals. Now, let's see finally how you can increase your heart rate variability to also reap those benefits. To know whether you are type of a person who has the variability changing, increasing, getting better, or getting worse, you need to have some way to measure. In the past, the only way to do that was with an electrocardiogram that was done by the doctor. Nowadays, there are these straps that the athletes wear on their chest. There are smart watches. There are smart rings. And even apps that can use the camera of your smartphone to measure the variability of your heart rate. According to the Harvard University, the gold standard for measuring your heart rate variability is still the electrocardiogram. But now, with all these technologies that we have in the straps and watches and all types of accessories and the applications that we have in our smartphones, all of this is evolving a lot. So, make sure whenever you're doing this type of measurements, that you're not measuring just your heart rate. You want to measure your HRV, the heart rate variability. It's different. So, even though these new technologies are not as precise as an electrocardiogram, they are very practical. Now you can measure your frequency every day. Whenever you wake up, you take a look at what's happening with you. So that's very important. That's very useful, very valuable. So what are these techniques that we're going to use now to increase your variability, because that's what you want? There are many interventions that deliberately impact the factors influencing HRV. There are many factors that can help or disrupt the healthy level of the heart rate variability. It is the food you eat, the place where you live, the environment in which you work. Basically, anything that stresses you out. Your mind, your body will interfere with your ability to control yourself and might end up sabotaging your willpower. Anxiety, anger, sadness, loneliness, feelings related to feeling bad, they will impact your heart rate variability and also will impact your willpower. So any technique that basically improves your mind and your body will end up improving your variability and improve your willpower. Let's take a look at 5 specific ones. Number 1 is a focused meditation. Meditation has now already been examined by hundreds of different scientific studies that are demonstrating many benefits, including, for example, decreased anxiety, increased concentration, improved quality of sleep, and it's a practice that is non-invasive, it is low risk and low cost. And that is why meditation is one of the easiest and most effective ways to increase your heart rate variability and improve your reserve of willpower. Among the various existing meditation techniques, the ideal one is focused meditation. Focused meditation. And if you are a student in our course, Focus, you can log into your students area, and now you're going to see that we have a new bonus material that is already available to you, teaching you step-by-step focused meditation. Number 2, quality food. Anything that improves your mind and your body, as you know, will improve the variability of your heart rate. Nothing can improve your health more than good nutrition. This is so important. And good nutrition is a very broad topic. I could be talking about this over and over for a long time. But let's just summarize the main idea. What you want is to avoid processed foods and also avoid eating all the time, snacking all the time. Avoiding processed foods means eating the kind of food that our ancestors could have access to gather in the wild, to hunt in the wild. So this is meat, eggs, vegetables, fruits, seeds. These are foods that are very rich in proteins, in good fats, and they have low amounts of carbohydrates. And when we say that you should avoid snacking and eating all the time, that means you should give enough time for your body between meals to have a good hormonal balance. There are also studies showing the relationship between alcohol consumption and the decrease of HRV. So, if you want to increase your HRV, this is what we want, it's better to avoid drinking too much alcohol and taking other drugs that might affect our health. Number 3, consistent physical exercises. Exercise also increases heart rate variability, and exercise is considered an excellent strategy to increase your self-control. Studies have shown that only 15 minutes of physical activity are already able to increase the willpower and to resist temptations of things such as nicotine and sugar. The long-term effects are even more impressive, increasing the resistance even in cases of people who have been addicted to antidepressants. And by analyzing the brains of people who do exercise, the scientists have observed an increase in both the number of the brain cells. Not only that, but also the connection between them. So, doing exercise is great. It makes your brain better and faster. And about the type of exercise, you might be asking, what should you do? Well, just choose whatever suits you the most. This will increase your chances of actually doing it, of practicing that activity for a long time. Because consistency is more important than finding the optimal exercise, something like that. Avoid doing activities that will wear you out, otherwise it will also become difficult for you to continue doing them on the long term. When we're talking about physical exercise, it could be even physical activities that generally are not considered to be exercises, for example, gardening or cleaning your home. Number 4, relaxed breathing. You should perform breathing exercises. Oh yeah, you control to breathe more slowly. You quietly symbolize to yourself that you are in charge of your own life. So one suggestion is that you breathe 4 to 6 times per minute. That would mean one breath every 10 to 15 seconds. Just let's give a try together. You're gonna breathe in. Then you breathe out. Don't hurry. Take your time. Breathe in. Feel the air come to your lungs. Don't hurry. Very relaxed. And then you breathe out. There are different philosophies, different therapies even, that use this controlled breathing as a way to perform their activities, their practices, their rituals. When you're doing this slow breathing, the prefrontal cortex is activated, and the prefrontal cortex is very important to our decision making, to control our negative urges, our desires, the activities that actually will not add to our lives and to our futures. So, it is part of the brain that will help us to control desires. Now, don't get the wrong idea. Our activity that we just did here, it is not meditation. It's just a controlled breathing. You don't also need to be holding your breath. Just breathe slowly. Because if you're holding your breath, you're going to be anxious, and that's exactly what you do not want. So never force your breath. And also don't be counting. Am I really doing X many breaths per minute? Don't do that. Just sit in a comfortable way. Breathe slowly with tranquility. So find a quiet space, do the breathing exercise. This is going to dissolve your stress and everything that is attacking you, making you feel anxious. And that's exactly the psychological mode that will take as part of the blood that would go to your brains, going to your body, putting you very stressed in this fight or flight mode. That's not what you want. Number 5, restful sleep. Sleeping well is the last of the 5 major factors that directly affect the variability of your heart rate. Lack of sleep causes dysfunction in the prefrontal cortex. That is, when you don't sleep well, the prefrontal cortex has a decreased capacity to be performing. The self-control required for willpower uses a lot of resources. You want to have the full capacity of your prefrontal cortex, and that is why it is so vital that you sleep well, for recovering your energy during the day, the next day, that you don't have to be resorting to caffeine and sugar all the time. Without a good night's sleep, you'll suffer much more than you need to deal with the stress, with the desires, with the temptations, and in addition to that, it's going to be much more difficult for you to be controlling your emotions, to focus your attention, to get the energy to be focused on what really matters, on your daily important tasks. So, when you sleep badly, it ends up in a state of someone that is drunk or somebody is under influence of drugs. You really don't perform in a normal way. If you're one of the type of people who can't sleep well, please make this investment. This is such an important area of your life, and then you're going to get very good results. Modify your routines. For example, you should avoid consuming caffeine from the early afternoon onwards. You should try to sleep in a pitch black room with a good temperature. You should avoid looking at bright electronic gadgets such as phones or the TV at least 1 hour before bedtime. At the same time, you should try to include in your routine activities that will relax you at the end of the day. For example, reading a good book, listening to some relaxing song, or having nice, pleasant, light conversations with your family members, with your friends. Do whatever you can to prepare yourself for a good night of sleep. Some people think, sleep, that's such a waste of time. But the truth is that those minutes will be highly rewarded with the energy that you need, with the determination that you want for the next day. So just do it and see for yourself the results. So, how would your willpower be affected if you paid more attention to your heart? What a question! Today you'll learn that there is a direct relationship between your heart rate variability, your HRV, and your willpower. The greater your variability, the greater your determination to stay focused and to resist temptations. Paying attention to your heart, listening to your heart. That is not just a cliche recommendation. It is not a song from the 80s. This is a strategic attitude that brings practical and direct benefits to your life. And to make these scientific discoveries a reality in your day-to-day life, what you have to do? You've got to find a way to measure your HRV on a daily basis right after you wake up. Then you're going to be doing different experiments. You're going to be improving the 5 main factors that affect your health, which are meditation, eating, exercise, breathing, and sleep. See how these changes will affect your HRV over time, and then you see the differences in your measurements. Have you ever imagined what your life would be like if you had more willpower? What kind of results could you have in your career, in your physical body, in your finances, in your relationships? Well, if you are already a student in our Focus course, log in to have access to a bonus lesson that I prepared for you to put these ideas into practice, particularly the focused meditation. If you're not yet a Focus course student, you can go to arato.se/focus course to register.